Hi there. My name's Tommy Yanulis, and I am the host of the brand new podcast, Empire Builders, scaling success one location at a time. This is a podcast dedicated to talking to the founders and the current leadership of those large multi-location brands that you see every single day where you eat and shop at. And we want to find out from these guys, why this business, right? Why of all the things you could do in the world, you chose to do this? We're going to learn what their challenges were at the beginning, what almost broke them. We're going to learn what they're facing today. And as always, we're going to end the show with a wonderful war story. That's one of those stories where you go, I can't believe we got through this. It was insanity, and hopefully they always end with a nice little laugh. So I can't tell you how excited I am to bring you these interviews with these amazing guests and just stoke that entrepreneurial flame that we all have to learn what it took to kind of get where they are today and how they got successful. So thank you for joining us, and I look forward to sharing these wonderful interviews with you. Hey there, everybody. This is Tommy Yanulis, and welcome to another episode of Empire Builders, the podcast about entrepreneurs and how they're building their own empires. Welcome to the show today, Lawrence Knuckles. Lawrence, how are you today, sir?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to be a guest today on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. So, Lawrence, we have a super easy format here. We ask the same questions of every guest. Question number one is, tell me about your current business and tell me about your role in that business.
Okay, my current business is Manic Vanity Clothing. It's a clothing brand that I built from the ground up in 2011, and my role is the CEO of the business. I started off as a silent partner and ended up growing to the operations, marketing, and sales. Then I ended up owning the complete 100% ownership of the business. It was a streetwear brand that we started off, and I used that as a vehicle to really get my drive to success with entrepreneurship. And I started in 2011. My first store was open in 2017 in Cleveland, Ohio. Well, actually Maple Heights, Ohio. And we expanded from there to Las Vegas to Minnesota and to on the west side of Cleveland to different stores and different brands spinned off of Manic Vanity Clothing.
So question for you. So you started in 2011. You opened your first store in 2017. How were you generating sales between 2011 and 2017?
Well, to be honest, 2011 to 2015, we didn't take it serious. This is the power of social media. We didn't understand the fact that we were actually influencers, but didn't know what we was influencing. We didn't know how to monetize personal branding, and that it didn't click in until I would say 2015. Plus, besides, I personally had a personal vacation. I took away from the business from 2013 to 2015. So when I come back in 2014, 15, come back with a vengeance. I come back with the understanding that we can move strategically and monetize the personal branding and actually understand the value of social media instead of just being a local celebrity or personality. You understand to monetize that business. So with that, at the beginning, we were doing sales, pop-ups. We had business and partnerships with small boutiques, and we did pop-up shows at their events and did kind of like commission-based things, and until we were able to scale back. And it was an event called the Villa Home Days in Cleveland, Ohio. This is 2015. First event, I'm really back in motion with the business, trying to build it back up. I had like $2,000 to my name. And it's because basically we squandered those first year's plot, not really realizing what it was. So I really got to the threshold of being what a CEO is. And that's when I realized that this opportunity that I had to have this last $2,500 to my name, maybe about $2,000, I bought inventory, and it was an event called the Home Days where local brands competed to get the spots inside a business called Villa. It's called DTLR right now, but it's a Villa is a local urban wear brands is around Midwest, and I would say East Coast. But the opportunity was to win the community who get picks to be in that brand. Long story short, I bought enough inventory, sales knocked it apart. I took that $22,000 and turned to $7,500 off the first event. And that was the catapult. And then I got to cut and sew. Because again, I didn't understand what cut and sew. We were just buying graphic tees and putting stuff on them. Now I know to get fabrics, I started doing overseas connects. So the sales started building up like 100, like I would say the markup like 1,000% in that year 2015, which allows me to go into 2016 to get manufacturing and not just going on buying a t-shirt and have a local company printed on them.
That's interesting because, it's so funny. We've been there ourselves too with our company, but it's so amazing how when your back gets up against the wall and you get down to those last pennies, how creative you get, how much your work ethic increases. I know so many people. I know a guy who made millions and millions of dollars. He sold his truck to literally start a website, and then 3 years later, he sold that website for $7 million. You know what I mean? Like literally got rid of his car to get a website built. It's the same thing, man. It's just amazing. And that is, I would suggest to anybody listening, that is it's the gift and the curse to bootstrapping, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
When you bootstrap, you got to be creative. You can't mess around. You go raise $100 million. When you have millions and millions of dollars, you'll just go hire 50 people, spend $5 million on this. It won't work, but that guy made $5 million, right? But like you'll hire some firm to come do this, or you'll hire someone to go do that. That's why so many of these big, like especially in my world, tech startups, they go out of business because they get 20, 30 million bucks and the investors are begging them to spend the money. They want them to burn through that money so fast because they want to get that next tranche and keep getting more and more ownership of these guys' businesses. But then they're spending money, but they don't have to be efficient with it. They don't have to care about the ROI it's generating.
Exactly. It's somebody else's money. It's a difference when you're giving something that you earn versus something that you're giving or fronted out to. And that's in my story. When I like to share to people, I like to share my background, because my background gives you transparency about where I come from and how I got the bootstrapping understanding, because I didn't have nobody to teach me entrepreneurship. I didn't have nobody to give me a handout or give me a funding to believe in my idea or my vision. And that's what the resiliency comes in at. And that right there, having that mindset of resiliency is going to make you make or break an entrepreneur if you're trying to fight, because there's gonna be days you're gonna feel like you need something to call upon to overcome these if you're bootstrapping. But bootstrapping also give you a light, so when you do get a big investment or investor, you know how to manage the money because you already been through the storm, and now you can go through the sunshine.
Absolutely, and I just and I think the other thing too is all those guys that get a lot of that money and they don't have that discipline, they don't have that resiliency, they don't care about the ROI, they're just getting pushed to spend. Those are also the people that all of a sudden one day the investors go, you squandered all the money that we told you to squander, but you didn't make an ROI. You're done now. And literally they leave enough cash to make your last 2 paychecks and your business is gone. And they own it, and you got nothing.
Got nothing. All that work, all that time you put into it. But see, that's where the grit and grind comes in at, where that you understand, you appreciate something that you built with your hands and molded it. Because now if you do decide to sell it, you know what you gave away. You know the value in it. You don't have no value when you use somebody else's money. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to solve, and it forces creative problem solving. If you had a lot of money in the bank, you just be like, okay, I'll
pay for it. I'll pay for it.
Yeah,
and that's why I tell a lot of people who wants to be entrepreneurs and tell me you can't buy. Money only solve money problems. You can't buy your way into a company. People think that, I'm not going to buy this business. I go buy this bar. It's going to work automatically because I have the money to buy it. No. You have to put sweat equity. You have to have somebody who's going to put the sweat equity into the business to grow it. It's not going to grow itself. The money is not going to get the ROI on its own. It's not going to appear out of our day life because you spend $100,000, $200,000, over $5 million on a business. Yeah. This taught me that when my first entrepreneur endeavor was trying to get in the music industry with my brothers and friends and everybody wanted to be a rapper, but nobody wanted to do the business. So I said, hey, let me invest in that. But I seen that even with that, you just making one in a studio recording money, that don't give you an ROI. You spend thousands of dollars on that music stuff and don't get an ROI. That's what made me quit and get into Matic Vanity, because I knew that if I got to put a piece of artwork in my hand, I want to sell it. I'm going to go get my profit. So that right there pushed me, and also come up with the ingenuity to think of different ways to maneuver to sell, get into sales and marketing, which is the engine of any business.
Yeah, and the reality is, and because I was in the entertainment business for a while too, and this is true of entertainers, it's entrepreneurs. Everybody wants to say they're an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to say they're an entertainer. Nobody actually wants to go and do the work of being an entrepreneur or an entertainer, right? Like you hear about Eminem, right? Like, and it's like he's 9 to 5 Monday through Friday in the studio. He treats it like a job. He's not in there partying the whole time. He goes in, he does his music, he goes home, and then if he's gonna go party, he goes parties after the world. You know, I meet so many people, and I've worked with them over the years. They get laid off from a gig. They get like a little bit of a severance package or something. And they go, hey, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And then the first thing that they go do is they redo their home office. So they drop they go get like a $5,000 like brand new laptop and a desk. And, I get my office right so I can be this entrepreneur and I can do all this stuff. And it's like,
cosplay.
Burn through a month of rent you just burn through a month of your living expenses on getting a new laptop and a desk and a lamp and a new cell phone and all the things you need to be an entrepreneur. A real entrepreneur would have put that money into building a website or getting a logo made or building the business and moving it forward. And so that person's just calling themselves an entrepreneur for the next 6 months until their cash runs out, and then they'll go get a job. Yeah. Right.
That's called cosplaying. They cosplaying entrepreneur. It's cosplay. They ain't bought no books. They ain't put no research or train themselves mentally to even get prepared for what they're about to get into.
And it's like, and I have a buddy who did this like a couple of different times, but it's like we started our entire company, web presence, logo, Google Office, store, CRM. I think we did it for less than $5,000 in 2015. For $500, I had, whatever that site is that gets you logos and letterhead and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We legit had the whole thing built, for like a couple of grand. So when I see people just like blowing money on dumb stuff, I'm like, you're not for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think social media has also blinded people, and they be blinded by the likes. So they look at the instant gratification. They see that these people are looking so good and grandeur on a scale, on a platform or scale, but not understanding that the back end of the work, what they did to get there. You're looking at the glamour. You're not looking at the sweat, hard blood, shed, and tears. You're not looking at the grit and grind. You're looking at this somebody showed a picture of a Lamborghini. How did they get that Lamborghini? Well, you're not asking these questions because again, the part that you don't like is the part that's going to get you where you want to like.
Yep. And the reality too with social media, as we all know, is that it's all fake. Like there are people that are going in these G5s, and that G5 looks like dog shit out on you couldn't fly that G5, but they go inside of it. It's beautiful. They take their little picture with their little stick. They look beautiful, and then they get up and they walk away. And then, I was in this Lamborghini, and then you don't realize they don't own any of that. And that is like last night, the best part of the internet to me is dog videos and videos and cute, funny stuff that stresses me. The rest of the internet is just one giant stress ball that I am addicted to as everybody else. It's just smashing on my soul. But it's everybody can look great in an Instagram post. But talk to me at 4 a.m. when you're standing up and all of your neighbors are sleeping. And I remember because I probably pulled between 2012 to 2017, I probably pulled 100 all-nighters where I literally got up in the morning, took my kids to school, did my whole day, put my wife and everybody to bed at 10, stayed up all night, got up the next morning, took everybody to school, did everything they needed to do, and then at the end of that day went to bed. And I remember thinking to myself, if I ever get rich off of this, it's going to be because I am up right now grinding on this business. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's the crazy thing about that. My story comes from that place. Well, it was a dark place in my story as a childhood in my teenage years when my mom was addicted on drugs, and she had to go to prison and stuff like that. So as me as a young boy, 17, 18, 19, I learned I had to be outside all night because I didn't have nowhere to go. unless I went to my grandmother, and then going to my grandmother, she lived so far away, and I knew that my grandmother wasn't going to go for the things I wanted to go for. So I forced myself outside to make sure I will pull all-nighters to make money enough on the block at 16, 17, so I can pursue to get my freedom and give me a place and get up out of this neighborhood. So that was I knew that I had an entrepreneurship ideology from then forward, because when I saw at 14, 15 years old, these older guys coming to try to sell my mom drugs, I didn't like it. And I knew I was getting embarrassed in high school, and about it, I took it upon myself to say, no, you guys are not coming to my house no more. I'll get the drugs myself, and I have to do that. And then again, I'm 14, 15 years old. I didn't know no better, but I knew I feel hurt that these guys are trying to capitalize on my situation. That was the first thing that was the first thing that identified with capitalism to me. You're trying to come in and see my mother's weakness and taking advantage of it, and you can't do that because it's taken from my house and my little brother, and we're going without, and she's messing up her credit cards. No, we're going to take. I took it took the bull by the handle, and took it. Not saying that was a positive way, but that's how I share with the kids and say, hey, but that I could have easily found a way to do something positive and found something to hustle then, but at that time in the 90s, different times, a wild time. So you didn't know, but that's the story I like to use to resonate, that a lot of people don't know, especially in my community I come from, about how to take a passion and turn it into a profit and monetize it, something positive, something that you love to do. Whether you're gonna do it, whether you can make $5 or you make $5,000, you get up and love to do it. And that's what the heart of the entrepreneur is. It's not about the money, it's the purpose and the value in solving problems.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, you were a kid. You had to do what a kid had to do, man. Like, you were put into a position where you had to do you had to take an action. And that's the thing you need to take from that period of your life. And then obviously now you're in a position to give back and help people that are out in those situations and try to give them a different path. Right. But I mean, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. America. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I have no regrets, man. Like I said, it made me strong. It made me understand the importance of how to have a winning mentality and to overcome all obstacles. And that's why I have the business I do now is called More Victories. And you see, hashtag More Victories, because this is the mindset you need to overcome. And every day you're trying to win in life. I tell people, don't never mind me. I'm just trying to win in life. And you have to have a certain type of mentality and certain resiliency, a certain faith, a certain belief that you're going to get here, and you need community. I have core values that I like to adapt to, and this part of my core values to overachieve and overcome obstacles. And this is not about wallowing that past in my life with my mom and all that, because my mom is better. She's not. She on drugs and all that, so we have a better life now. But that tools of those things I understand you need that mindset to be an entrepreneur, because again, this is not for the weak. And it's not for the people who want to cosplay and get on the internet and say, hey, I got something going on. Because all that pandemic time, all that money was floating around. People, you see what happened. You see a lot of people went out of business. A lot of people was playing. I want to start a Turo. I want to start this. I started this. Next, I stole the clothing brand. So many clothing brands started up that when you don't even see them existing no more, because you are cosplaying. This is not something to be played with. Because I want to go dress up and put on a suit and come back and say I'm an entrepreneur. No, that ain't how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's switch gears to the next question. Tell me about some of the real challenges that you guys faced right at the beginning.
Challenge. I mean, I guess me, I love challenges. So again, I'm trying to see what's the really challenge. To me, a challenge is the testament to your new story coming over, because you're a part of your journey. So I think that the beginning was understanding roles in the business, structure. That was the challenge, because anything else was like, because me, I like to learn. I'm going to pick up a book. I'm going to pick up a book. I'm going to do research on the internet. So that part was a challenge. Capital wasn't a challenge because I had my own money at the time. I think the challenge was structuring how to play the role, or what roles we can go as an organization, as a business. We didn't exactly know what role should be played. And this is why a guy, my former partner, who came up with the idea and the name Manic Vanity, ended up being out of his own idea, because the role and structure and people not applying their taking upon initiative to find out their role, to roll it out. Because when you're in a small business, you only got maybe a startup 4 or 5, 6, bro employees. So it's like you got to get down with what you got. And I don't think that our structure was in place, because when I did come back in 2015 and put structure, it allowed people to be accountable for their role and what you're supposed to bring to the table. And that's when things start changing. That's what start with the growth of the company. Also, with the growth of the company, we start weaning out the weak.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just thinking, because in our company at the beginning, me and my business partner, we had 3 business partners that were active in the business. One was our developer, and he was off doing development. And so like he was kind of not in the picture in the respect of he wasn't working on the day-to-day. He was just working on code, right? And which is cool. And then me and my business partner, for at least the first year or two, we kind of duplicated roles. Like he had some things that he did more than me. Like he's more on the accounting side and the finance side, and I would do more on the development side. But in general, like we were duplicating a lot of work in the middle, like sales and implementation work and stuff like that. And it wasn't, we saw a major shift in the business from a productivity standpoint when we did assign roles, right? And we said, okay, right, you're in charge of this specifically, and we weren't duplicating efforts, because if you're duplicating efforts, right, and if you don't have a hierarchy of responsibility, then you can't hold people accountable to it, and then you can't grow it. And then there's so many things that don't happen because, well, is it Lawrence's responsibility or is it Tommy's responsibility? Oh, well, exactly. You said he was going to do it, but then you're like, dude, you said you were going to do it, and then all of a sudden it doesn't get done, right?
Exactly.
And it was interesting too, because as you were talking, like I went to MBA school in grad school, and one of the big things in grad school is they always had you work in these groups of 5. But there was never a leader of the group. It was always like these cooperation groups, like you would get in corporate America, where someone from HR and someone from here, and like there's 5 of you, but there's no like natural leader.
Yeah,
I was just thinking that was so stupid, because what it forces you to do is it forces you to. Someone needs to be the leader, right? Someone needs to be the leader. You can't have all these people that are, especially at that level. You know what I mean? Where like you're all trying to work together. Somebody's got to take responsibility, and not like in a jerk way, because some people with strong personalities will come in and just bowl everybody over, and that's not what you want.
That's right.
But you need somebody who can just take over and go, hey, this is how we're going to organize this. This is how we're going to divide and conquer. This is what we're going to do. And be collaborative, but someone's got to be in charge, right?
Right, exactly. Somebody that identify people's weaknesses and strength and put them in the right position to say, hey, this is where you should go. I advise you to go this route, and with your skill set, and you over here, we're going to go all make it mesh without having to be a jerk and still work in a harmonious way.
Because when you get that one person who just bowls everybody over and just forces their idea down on everybody, that person just makes everybody quit.
Yeah. The morale is down.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm not going to work here anymore. And I have this other thing going on, and there's a guy in that group that's kind of like that. And so everybody's just gotten to a point where like, I don't really want to do this anymore, And it's like, that's a shame, because most people don't want to stand up and fight every meeting,
Right.
This is interesting. So for you at the beginning, it was structure. We got to organize and because everyone thinks at the beginning, it's interesting too, just as a side note, because I'm like an idea guy, right? And every idea is amazing at 30,000 feet. It just looks beautiful and easy, and I'm going to make $100 million and blah, 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 blah. But when you get down to 1,000 feet, that's when you realize, oh, hell, there's a reason no one's doing this. It's hard as hell, or it's expensive, or the technology doesn't exist, or whatever it is, right? And so, when you're starting off with something, it's all unicorns and rainbows and this is going to be so easy and fun. But when you get in the trenches and figure out, well, wait a second, this is actually like hard.
Right.
That's when you need people who can actually work well together and grind it out and are committed,
And HR is one of the hardest things in the last 5 years. People trying to solve out in business. Who's those people that are ready to get in the trenches? Who's ready to go to war?
Yeah.
Sucks.
But I'll be curious. I'll ask you this question too. So it hasn't happened as much in this business as it did in my last company. But we hired tons of friends and family.
Oh my God.
Never worked out.
Oh my God. Listen, I talk about this all the time. I call it the quit trying to turn a carpenter into a plumber. Uh, uh, the innate ability to want to win, we always don't want to win alone. We
Yeah.
want your friends and your family to come along with you. But
Yeah.
the tough part is that your friends and family will be the first ones that don't want to come along with you. They'll be the first ones that may sabotage the situation because they do with the lack of emotional intelligence and not seeing the vision and seeing some type of disdain. Sometimes don't even believe in the vision and don't even would be arrived there for when you see the win, when they're ready to celebrate. But then when the going gets tough, they're nowhere to find. So I don't like to. I learned my way the hard way of dealing with family, and that's why I came up with my number one principle is know your personnel. That way you can separate expectation from disappointment. If I know, just say, if I know you, just say, if you have a cousin he's never stole from you, he's a thief, right? But he's always stealing. He's always stealing. But you're like, hey, cousin, I love you. You come around me, and then one day you forget, you leave some money around, and he steals from you. Do you be mad at your cousin? Do you be mad at yourself? You got to be mad at yourself because that's what accountability is, because you knew better to be dealing with your cousin who was a thief. So the same thing with business. You knew better to be trying to employ somebody into doing because you don't have no human resources, or you're not willing to go out here and put ads out. You're not looking for talent. You plug in your cousin to come do some stuff that got to do with tech, or give him a camera to record you, and he's dropping the ball. He's not showing up because you need that person to fill the job, and you're so in your comfort zone, don't want to get out your comfort zone and seek how to find the talent that you need. We have, because again, small business and like me, we don't know where to find that talent at, and that becomes a problem. And you try to plug and you gotta pull and plug, meaning that anybody you know which school, hey, come on over here. And sometimes it don't be a malicious way, because sometimes they do want to help you. Sometimes they do be a family member that believe in you, but they can't help you because they're may not be competent enough for the role, but they love you and they want to support you. But that's where you find out how to know your personnel, because you get mad at them because you expected something that they would never had to give you in the first place.
Sure. It's interesting too, is what I've noticed is, and I don't know if you ever noticed this too, is that you hire somebody that's a friend or a family member, and you think, man, I'm doing something great for this person. I'm giving them a job. I'm giving them, health care. I'm going to give them an opportunity to better themselves, or help them in a situation, or just have a great job, right? And you've always had great work environments, I like to think. And then, but the person they think it'd be your best friend. They could be your brother. As soon as they get hired, you're just the boss of a job that they work at now. And it's like they like disassociate themselves from like the relationship. So it's like, well, no, you're just my boss. And if I can get a quarter more across the street, or I get a better job offer, or, whatever, you like you're like IBM, and you're like, dude, it's me, Tommy, like the guy when we went to the beach together when we were kids. Well, what are you doing to me? So this is bad news.
Exactly. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I done had some positive, but I had more negative. Like I said, man, I'm gonna give them heart anyway. So I want to give somebody an opportunity because I didn't have that opportunity. So it resonates with me to be someone that, hey, I know it was hard for me. I want to be able to be throw the rope down to help other people. So in that place you get burnt. Sometimes you have to look at a success story. I'm not gonna sit there and say that there's no positive in that, but it's some situation that be like baffling. Like, if I had here, I'd probably pull it out more because of how you like, well, I thought I was helping you out. I mean, even just giving you an opportunity to put some food on your table for your family.
Yeah.
You don't get that. I don't understand. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier. People, the entitlement that people expect you to do certain things because it's you. Just like in business, they don't want to put in entrepreneurship. They expect entitlement. They expect things just to fall in their lap.
Well, and as we've been having this conversation, it just dawned on me where I made my mistake. And so I guess I would put this out there to people to listen to and internalize, is I thought I was giving a friend or a family member a job, and they were treating me like an employer. But what I should have done has been like, look, I love you, and if you want to take on this job, I'll explain it to you. I would love to put you in there. But when you come to work, you're an employee, and I'm your employer, and we're going to have that and set that expectation. And I never did that for myself or to the people that I had hired. You're now my employee, and I expect you to act like any other employee. And if you don't do a good job, I'll fire you. And if you hate your job, you feel free to quit and trade time for money. And and when we're at work, we're at work, and when we're at home, when we're out, be friends. Yeah. And I never set that expectation. I never set that for myself or for those people. I always just treated them like a friend that I got to work with. And that was my mistake. So I guess if anyone can learn from this little bit of this conversation is if you are going to hire someone like that, because like you said, when you're small and you got 4 or 5 people and you don't have an HR department and you don't have a recruiter, and you're sure as hell not going to pay a recruiter $30,000 or $50,000 to go find you somebody, and you're just trying to move your business forward. A lot of times we will err on expediency to get a body in the role versus necessarily going out and doing the exhaustive, painful work of going to find that person, right? So you've got Bob, who's your buddy, and he's sitting around, just got laid off. He worked at a good company, so he might be the right guy. So you just go grab Bob because you just want to get someone in the role to keep moving the business down the road. And we all do that because we have limited time and resources, and you could spend 6 months trying to find the right person, and now you're 6 months behind, right? So you've got to balance. I mean, entrepreneurship, there's never a right answer. It's always just trying to find the right balance from where you're at that time. So we're all guilty of like hiring people that are close to us or that we know or are available, so we can just keep the ball
going and feel like you're helping them as well.
Yeah, of course.
So it causes 2 problems. Like you're helping somebody that you love, or you're helping somebody that you love, plus you're giving them an opportunity to help feed themselves and feed their family that they love. So you think it's a good thing to do. It makes sense in that aspect. But sometimes we have to identify if they're the right fit. For the role.
Yeah, most job interviews I do these days, I just try to explain. I try to talk the person out of the job. You don't want this job because it's like this, and this. And then if they're still there going, no, that sounds great to me, then I'm like, okay. All right. So initially your problem was structure. Your biggest issues were structure. What are your big issues? What are the big challenges you're facing right now?
Okay. Currently the biggest challenge I'm facing with is the economy. Yeah. I want to say the economy, retail. Well, you're in retail business right now. It's kind of rough for you. I think, and not just small business. I want to say even corporate giants are folding left and right as well for the retail operations, and I think that's due to also the innovation of webs, AI and technology on the website. So my challenges is as I scaled up brick and mortar, do I still run that same business model, brick and mortar, or do I just go completely online, save overhead, and just go into personal branding, and that also allows me the freedom to dive into my other business I'm working on without having to worry about managing storefronts. So and by the storefronts going slow through the retail, the traffic, because people not being outside going to traffic, the traffic is not as much. A lot of people, even in big malls, are having time with sales, and people, as you started begin, Christmas sales will be rolled out. You'll start seeing Christmas talking about next month, in the next couple weeks. Watch, because they want to get a jump on the sales, because sales been slow. So
you keep saying personal branding. Explain that to me real quick.
Personal branding. I like to use personal branding because you're a small business, unlike corporate business and bigger businesses that have the funding to do marketing. You have to be the business card of your brand. You are the lead magnet of your brand, of your sales funnel. You are you and your personality and who you are, and your people from your reputation in the community and what you do has to be the spokesman of your brand, because you don't have the marketing budget that you have. You don't have somebody that you can come as a celebrity and to influence and all that. You have to be that person, and your brand will people will start recognizing you when they started to do business. And I realized that with Manic Vanity Clothing, how I built it, when we first started creating t-shirts and stuff, I would just wear it. I was always a fashionable guy, so I just wear what I had on that was the latest fashion. And that personal branding was that, hey, we recognize that Lawrence is already a well-dressed man. He's into the latest sneakers. He knows about the sneaker culture. He knows about the streetwear culture. We believe in him, so we might as well go ahead and support his brand, Manic Vanity Clothing, because we trust in him. that he has the expertise to dress. So that personality also brings trust with the relationship with the consumer. And seeing that, hey, he's a real respected guy in the fashion world, because I've seen him over years wearing the hottest brands, hottest street wearings, all into the culture. Now I'm going to believe in him and his brand, because he's basically being like a streetwear tailor to me, because now I like how he dressed. I want to dress like him because he's cool. That's where you see your personal branding at, and now you monetize a certain situation, your passion that I have for myself, to make it resonate to the people that they already know that I'm into fashion. You should be too. So that's personal branding. That's just from my story with that. But also now I'm speaking a little bit further that now everything I do when I start to say when I started a French cheese boutique, I have that's my West Side location. I took Manny Vanity and we started making dog clothing and apparel. Because I like dogs, right?
Mhm.
So I love animals. I love dogs. I have Frenchies. So I breed Frenchies, and so I spent Manic Vanity to start making Manic Vanity apparel for French bulldogs, French cheese boutique. So again, personal branding, using my lifestyle to monetize to the public of people, and use social media that people, when I follow them, want to buy in and create sales funnels through that way of personal branding. My personal relationship with the consumers understand and trust me because they've seen I've consistently promoted or branded a certain way of living, which is be fashion, motivational speaking, innovation, which is AI, of course the dogs, and they've seen me just always talking about winning. So this is how I end up to the place I'm at today with more victories. What I'm working on right now is that whole showcase of how to, like I told you earlier, about overcome the obstacles is part of winning and winning in life. So this is personal branding, just using me and my personality to monetize and put myself into speaking engagements. I've been doing speaking engagement roles as well. Not just about AI, but just winning. I'm big on fatherhood, because I know that in the urban community that we have a lack of fathers in the community. So just using my personal brand, my passion, and to build a trust with the audience, and that what is personal branding to me.
That's cool. Yeah, I could see where, like, I've had two companies, and we haven't had I haven't gone into an office since 2009. And I could see the problem with the retail location is that when times are good, it's wonderful and it's cash flowing you and it's so great. But when times are tough, it's $5, $6, $7, $10,000 a month going out the door that you've got to sell somewhere else to just pay for that building. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like in this time frame, more than ever, I bought more clothes from places that don't have shops, just because I saw, because that damn Facebook and Instagram algorithm is
exactly. So, yes, the Facebook and Instagram is just it's a market itself. It's not even about the social media on Facebook and Instagram no more. You're going to see some ads. It's ads. So
they're perfect. They're
right.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. So that makes me say, hey, well,
Lawrence,
why do you keep? I know my mom, you built this, the community helped you build this. You built this up for the community, and the community keep your store because the community recognizes it. Mom, do you realize that? Why should I be shelling out thousands of dollars monthly to be in the community when I can be in the community online? I can still move around and do other things. I said, you see, this being an entrepreneur and understanding the pivot right here. This is where I started a commercial cleaning company. I bought a commercial franchise 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and just to offset some of the things, but also grow as well. And because I use AI to get me contracts real quick, and I employ a couple of people, but that added generates more income over here to offset some income that I was losing over there.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm only way I was thinking about keeping these retail situations is that allow smaller brands to come in and collaborate to help small brands to come with, and I teach them. I use digital online course. I'm creating a digital online course right now to give courses on how to start your own clothing brand and give small guys small people that's in high school or just trying to get little small brands to help them and put a little incubator together to help them. That's the only way I do it. Otherwise, I'm thinking about to get out of the brick and mortar business. It's not making sense today.
It's interesting because I could see if I could. I actually think you're like dead on both things, because it's like if you had this incubator, right, and then everybody knew it was an incubator, then what you're going to get is you get this small designer who comes in and they put 3 sweatshirts in there and they put 15 of them in there, right? And then maybe they're getting imprinted on, one of those models where, you print as you purchase type of thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then you're known as an incubator, then you're not just trying to get people to come in under the main brand. You're going to bring in a community, because every time that first person gets their first shirts in your store, they might invite 100 people to come see them. And that will be drive people into the store to make it profitable, versus just the normal people walking down the street who are going to buy a $100 sweatshirt or whatever.
Right.
But I can also see, if you utilized Facebook and Instagram and put more energy and effort and use that capital on those spaces, and then supplement that with pop-ups, that now you don't have, now in June or May, when no one's buying sweatshirts and jackets, you're not spending $5,000 on rent. So I can see both models working, you know what I mean? Especially if you could maintain one person in Vegas whose job it was to organize one pop-up a month, you know what I mean, and then manage your online presence there. That's interesting.
And then also I didn't mean to interrupt you, but also too, when I built Manning Vanity, and when we built Manning Vanity, we also recognized that fashion is a young man's game, a young person's game. So as you get older, your disposable income on fashion doesn't be as much sense. So that I had to recognize that. So I also, while I'm in the phase of rebuilding, rebranding, to pass the ball to someone else, because again, Manning Vanity was never my idea. It's just something I use as a tool to catapult me from one place in my life to the next place. So that's why I want to pass the ball over there, because I believe that my whole thing is more of I'm a solutionist. I like to build business. I like to, so I want to get more into consultant roles. So I'm finding the young next talent and let them and help build the next CEO of Manning Vanity. So that's somebody who's really want to be a fashion designer and own a fashion clothing, give them the opportunity to get that. And since it's already built up, and that's why I can get into different roles where I go into the future of just, like I said, I want to get more into tech. That's why I want to go into. That's where I'm passionate about tech, and just helping other people and come with solutions on how they can better their build, and even personal brand and marketing. I want to be able to get what I've got to other people. So. Because, like I said, Manning Vanity was never my idea. It was just a catapult. And I tell my mom, I know she's so proud of me because I made it, use it to make it out of the community. And so much the community supports me. But I also want to give back to the community. And I mean the community of the world, meaning that people who want to have their own, who want to bootstrap, who just want to get in the trenches and learn how to take something and turn nothing and turn it into something. I have a passion for that. I want to collaborate with people that wants to build together. I understand the strength in numbers and unity, and that's why I want to promote that. So Manning Vanity is just a tool that I use to spearhead the journey to bigger and better things. So I know as a young man, again, fashion is a 18 to 25 market, so I had to put people in position to spear that next wave until my son becomes old enough. My son is 12, so he's coming. So I'm holding down until then. But I think as I move forward over to the future, it's more about tech and just getting in more to that space of consulting and using digital marketing to show for our digital products and online courses. Because I think right now we're in a place in the world that the how can I do things? People need it. When you answer a question of how, what, and why, you got 9 times out of 10 you got them sold on the vision. Either they go say I'm with it, or they're not gonna be with it. They necessarily say it's too good, I just don't want to do it, because that solves the problem. The how, what, and why. So that's what I want to get into, helping others to give people the how, what, and why.
So what are you doing with AI?
I just started a brand called. I have a mentor. A great mentor by the name of Ashley Gross. She had me, inspired me to get into more AI, because I went to AI, I started learning these things and going to seminars and stuff like that because I was interested in AI. So AI, she told me you should do public speaking about AI and AI for a better living, where I focus on using empowerment and encouraging people to understand and educating people to understand the importance of AI, not just from a business perspective, but just a life perspective. Because again, it allows you to do the things you love to do while it allows you to focus on the things you love to do while letting AI do the things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And like today, I make some content where I want to promote about how I use AI to break a communication barrier with our children. Sometimes, like my son that came to me, Dad, I want to help you join more business. I want to pass out your business cards. I said, son, what do you call that? I said, that's marketing and sales. Do you know what marketing and sales is? No. Well, let me explain to you. Now, me knowing that, how I was explaining to it probably be over his head. So what I did was took the text of what I wanted to ChatGPT and to explain to them that I want to explain to my 12-year-old son that about what's marketing and sales and how he just came to me with the idea for my business and what to teach him what he did. It generated me the response. I reprompted it again to say, let's take it down to another level, just in case, just to make sure that we don't know. I know the education system he's in, but we don't know what our son truly really at if we don't communicate. So I said, you know what? Let's make it. He's 12 years old. He's in the 7th grade. Let's take it down to the 5th grade conversation.
Sure.
So that makes he really know. So when I did that to say, I reprompted, he said, yes, of course. And that gets in the direction to understand what I'm talking about and what he's doing. That gets him more passionate and get him more enlightened to want to be a part of what his dad is doing. And I thought it was so dope. So I use AI just to solve people problems. Like a great friend of mine, she's a great author, and I was telling her she wrote a book, but she wrote a book without AI and all that. I said, girl, do you know you would be like Master P? You know how Master P used to make so many albums every month. Master P had his label No Limit had an album every month. I said, using AI, you're gonna turn to Master P in the book world. You're gonna have so many books dropping because you're so good. All you gotta do is take the little context you did, just turn that context 3 times, and you got plot so many completed projects. So I showed her that, and she was so in. So I like to take AI and simplify life and make it more efficient. Because again, for me, how I came into AI, when I lost my partnership. Now he created the brand. He was the graphic designer. I didn't know nothing about graphic designers. I was marketing and sales. So who's gonna make the design? Now who's coming to the hall? People coming to the store asking for custom jackets and how do I create the graphics? I started school just January and went back to community college to take a visual communication class because I got to find a solution, right? But while still looking at AI, come to find out, I started learning AI. I said, damn, I spent $1,500 on Carl Community College. I could save that money over here in AI. And AI taught me to do designs myself. So now I don't have to worry about so much marketing. Look how much money I've saved on my own graphics now. Look how much money I'm saving on not having to worry about photography. I'll get my own camera. AI does the editing and edit that for me. So my love for making my life better in business and overall, it makes me to share it with other people and how they can make their life efficient, because a lot of people are so scared about technology. A lot of people, so especially in under resource communities, they don't, shoot, the old people, senior citizens, they don't understand that they don't even want to use their credit card to pay for paper stuff. So, but I know grandma and grandpa, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to do that, but they don't understand how it makes their life so much easier, more efficient. It's not just about business. It's about making your life much better, and so you can be more efficient in life and live the life you want to and more happiness, because you want to adopt it anyway. You're adopted anyway. You watch Netflix, you're adopted it anyway. So why understand how to harness it instead of being a consumer?
And I love that your example about dumbing it down, bringing it.
That's a good analogy, though.
Yeah, no, but it's true, because like I use AI to write stuff all the time, like, and it's if you haven't used it yet, you got to get on Gemini or ChatGPT or one of those things and just try it, and you will literally be blown away about how good it is,
man.
And I mean, like writing emails to people, like now I don't like anything. Like if I'm just writing an email and it's like, hey, I'll call you back like at 2 or something, that's totally cool. But like pretty much anything else, I'm going to put in AI, and just like little tools too. Like I had to write, I wanted to communicate to an author last week about another project, and he only had 600 character limit on his box, and I had so much to tell him. So I went into to Gemini, and I'm just like banging it out, and then I'm like, okay, they wrote it. I'm like, that's great. And then I go, okay, now I'll make it 600 characters, and like it just condensed it. And these are things that would take me, like I I do the podcast to generate content for my business because I used to write blogs and I wrote like 300 blogs. And this is before all the AI. And it would take me 8 to 12 hours to write a blog because the way I write too much. And then I have to like leave it for a while before I can edit it, or my brain will insert words and then I won't be editing it correctly. And now I can write like a prompt that's like this big on Gemini, and then I get my blog done, and it's all my thoughts because I have so many bullet points in there. I'm like, I'll tell it like, these are the points we need to make, and then I go, these are the conclusions we need to draw. So it's all my stuff. It's just filling in the words, but it does it in 45 seconds, and then you go, oh, change this paragraph to be this, change that to be that, and then you're done.
Exactly. So crazy that you say that. I use, like I said, just told you, I started my company called Fresh Life Cleaning, and I spit it off of Manic Vanity, because Manic Vanity's slogan is called Live Like Fresh. So it's Fresh Life Cleaning, and it's still Live Like Fresh. But I had just bought the franchise, and a friend of mine on Facebook posted, "Do anybody do eviction cleanouts?" I don't even know nothing about eviction cleanouts. I even did a quote for my own franchise yet. I'm just learning that now. I've been in the business since July. My first contract was July, so I see that up. Guess what? I use AI to get that contract. I have AI. Not only did I have AI give me information, do research to get the quotes and make me a quote and make me a pamphlet to send to her. I also use AI to create me a script to speak to her to understand, okay, well, I know I ain't got no experience. I want to sound like how I've been doing this for 10 years. I generate the script. I get the script playing while I'm on the phone with her and use that. And I get the gig from her. I get the job. Then I use AI to, like I said, create not only the contract, the email thing to her, and the breakdown for how I could pay me, my employees, and the supplies and travel for the truck to do the job. I documented, put it on. I don't know if you saw it on LinkedIn. I documented it and showed it on all my social media platform how I use AI to help me for more efficient to a business I know nothing about. Again, like I said, I started the cleaning company because for my Frenchies, my business that I clean up off the dogs. I said, well, shoot, I'm cleaning up the dogs. Might as well give me a cleaning company. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this for free. You know what I'm saying? The dogs got me cleaning up poop and pee all the time. Let's go make some money off of it. Again, like I said, personal brand, just learning how to monetize my passions.
That's awesome. That's great. Okay, so we're here to the war story question. A war story is just one of those things you can't believe you got through, right? Ones in the past that I always refer to. I had a guy who was running a hotel in the Seychelles, and like Somali pirates hijacked his supply ship. And what did he do? Or I had guys that worked got snowed in a hotel in a blizzard and was there for 100 hours straight. That type of thing. So let me hear a war story if you got one for me.
I definitely got a war story, and I want to say the war story. I have a few. We all have war stories, especially when you've been in the trenches, like we would say. But this war story right now is more heartfelt because people understand when business, you sometimes get your heart and love and your feelings and emotions involved because you're doing business with people you love, like we talked about earlier. And this also contributed to my transformative experience where I'm at today in business now, from Manic Vanity as a transformer to endeavors I have because of doing business with a partner that we have started this company in 2011, and in our relationship in business 2023. Yeah, 23. So the war story behind that is because we come from having a brand built from our hands on from an idea, and I came to him with the idea because he had the idea in 2006. But in 2010, I said, hey, I love that brand. A lot of people, I shared it with a lot of people. The idea, the name is unique. Manic Vanity doesn't sound like it's female or male. It has range. It doesn't have a racial range. Anybody can understand what Manic Vanity means and what you want to do. If you want to do something with it, if not, I'm taking it and rolling with it because I'm not going to the streets again. And this is that's the beginning of the war, because we have to be at war with somebody that we're at war with ourselves because we're not really understanding the magnitude that Manic Vanity has to place to propel us in the business world. He's not understanding himself. So we're at war with each other. I'm at war with him, trying to show him this way. He's at war with himself, trying to understand the discipline and that he needs to be a partner in ownership of his idea and take control of his idea. He was to the point that early in the game that his grandfather said, told him, why did you let this man take your business? I'm looking at it like, what you mean? We're together. But his grandfather saw early that I was outworking him. And even I to myself, I didn't think I was outworking. My job was not to outwork him. My job was because I wanted to make this stuff work, and I was willing to do everything it took to make it work. It wasn't just about me putting up the money; it was about me also putting in 100% sweat equity. And he wasn't doing that. So we had war with each other so it's a mental war going on within our whole structure. As I told you, that's about the problem. Our structure, when we're not knowing what our rules is, and speed up to 2015. As we get into cut, so the success started going up more and more and more, and that's when I started expanding. Now I'm CEO, but I'm also the one doing all the pop-ups and expansion into Vegas and the stores. But why he's still trying to figure out what his role is, even though he knows he's the head of the designs and the head of the basically the brand. He's more creative control. But he's not pushing out items. So now I get over in that realm. I'm gonna come up with designs. He might not even improve designs, but he's not gaining emotional intelligence, like saying, okay, well, yeah, I might not agree with design. We got a product, we gotta sell this because we'll be out of business. He's not getting that the entrepreneurial spirit. So somewhere along the line, it took us to 2023 where we get these jackets. This is our biggest. Now we consistently I built this brand from $2,000 to a 6-figure business, and this time we get the payoff. The payoff is these varsity jackets. We sell over the first day at $225 a pop. The first 30 days, in 2 weeks, we sell 100 jackets. So at $225 a pop. So, and he had caught a DUI and thought he was going to be in jail only for 2 weeks and ended up putting him 4 months. So while he's gone, right. So while he's gone, the sales going. I had to come up. Did some pre-orders. So, but he ended up keeping the money, and I had to come up with the money to make sure that we get the jackets. The initial buy-in. So I guess when he come home, he's expecting that he should get a partial to play, and he didn't put in. I told him the whole agreement was you had to help me sell them. I mean, you didn't do the role. You sat down. You're not expecting payment. So that war with that hurt my feelings because like. How do we come here and as soon as I get a win, you should want to celebrate that. How much money I'm going to put in invest in this thing to keep it afloat, keep it to where we got. You should want us to win. You should be saying, yeah, that was good, Lawrence. Now I can pass the baton, pass the ball, because now I'm home from my situation. Let me get on my feet and get some skin in the game. It been times that I even let him create certain items for himself to just get the money. That's you, because I understand your financial situation. Get that. So my biggest battles within, and we had to understand that sometimes who you partner with is essential to your growth in business because you could have a battle within the war. So that breakup with me and him hurt me hard because I looked at him like a brother. Anything I had involved with, I shared with him. Anything, the opportunities, anything I share. I was never a gatekeeper type guy, even the business. But I knew I made one smart move was when I took that vacation. I made sure I had almost ownership. I made sure he was out the paper. So when I came back and he left the brand vacant. And I still, and with the giving heart, still came and said, you know what, bro, you disappointed me. I don't care that you wasn't there for me when I was gone. You didn't do no with the brand. You allowed female friends of mine to just work pop-ups and do the system. I'm disappointed in you, but come on, bro, we can still do it. And that's how we started from 15 on to now. And it's to see that us fall out, and then you decided you want to start your own brand, and you went work all this stuff I did it and doing it. How do you dare want to start your own brand when you didn't put in the work in with the brand that I gave you? How many people do you know that will take 100% invest in you and put sweat equity in? How many people today can say, I got somebody that will invest 100% of the money and give you 100% of sweat equity behind you? People take those things like that for granted. So that's my biggest word, because I had to internalize that he's not an enemy, even though it hurt me that we fell out because of success and money. He's not an enemy. I went to war with somebody that wasn't prepared to be a soldier, and that's accountability. That's why I say know your personnel. You know what you're dealing with. You know, separate expectations from disappointment, and hold you accountable. So I don't look at him mad or today, because again, I try to fight for somebody, put somebody in positions that they didn't want to really be in, because how can I take somebody's idea and make it mine?
Yeah. This is a side note. We've offered so many employees the opportunity to be like entrepreneurs within within the company. And the reality is not a single one ever took advantage of it, because if you're not an entrepreneur, you can't just transform yourself into one.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like, it's a personality type. It's a skill set. It's a risk aversion. It's a work ethic, and you cannot turn somebody who's not an entrepreneur into an entrepreneur, period.
You can't. It's impossible.
And so you can't be upset when they don't do it, because they physically can't do it. They're just an employee. They need to. And the problem was you were treating him like an entrepreneur the whole time, when you should have been treating him like an employee.
Employee, exactly.
Get this thing done by next Wednesday or you're fired, right? Like that's what you should have been.
Instead of trying to get, because I knew when I allow him to live with me, and we were trying to work on things at nighttime, he won't focus, and he feel like I'm just talking his ear off. He'd be ready to go party, and I'm sitting in the house trying to work with the design. So I knew that. So that transformative experience allowed me to understand things from a different perspective, and made me feel like it's not me wrong for me to want to give to others. I got to find out who the people I want to align with and give to. Just because somebody might be in a struggle that I've seen myself being permanently, that I mean that they want to get out of that struggle. So this transformative experience, this fight, put me in a dark place, almost, to a point that I had to get myself back out of that hole. Because not only did we fell out too, I lost my young nephew, who was a model for the brand. He got killed. Then my person who started with us from day one, who did the inventory, the bookkeeping, and ran the store, she passed away in her sleep at 38 years old. I didn't wake up. So that all last year, I'm sunk in a dark place. I'm in a bad place. And plus, on top of that, before me and him fell out, I told him that I had suffered from burnout. These jackets, I needed a break, because as I told him, I've been carrying the load by myself all this whole time. And he didn't mind letting the people perceive him as the ownership of the company. So when we fell out, it got a little nasty on the internet, and I exposed to him that he never owned the company, and it kind of embarrassed him, but it was the truth. Because and I told him I was already burned out from. Again, how did we get in Vegas? I left this. I built that store in 2017. I personally took the initiative to say, you know what, I'm going to Vegas to try it. My sister lived down in Vegas. She said, I think Manny Vanny do good here. I say, you know what, let's go expand. I will take the risk to go out here. Maintain it. We already got the store. We already built this one. Hold it down. And then he couldn't really hold that down. He worked a little bit, but my daughter ended up running it for us. So there's a lot of things that I got burnt out, and that's why I'm probably at the place of retail and all that stuff going on with Manny Vanny. It's like I need a break. And allowing me to go over to AI and do things of public speaking and educating other people and doing consulting things. That's my niche, because it gave me in line with purpose, instead of just, whereas my goal was to use Manny Vanny as a vehicle to get away from the streets. I accomplished that goal. I never thought Manny Vanny would be a multi-millionaire. I didn't even think Manny Vanny would get to 6 figures a year. I did it from $2,000, but my goal was to show myself and other people in that came from the urban community that you don't have to be there. It's a choice. You could take the idea that you have and turn it into something positive. And I did it. And so that's now on to the next thing. Not saying I'm getting rid of Manny Vanny, because obviously it's digital real estate. 14,000 followers. That's amazing. And I'm big on conversion. And I tell people now, with social media, if you got 1,000 followers, it ain't about the followers, it's about the conversion rate. How can you get to me them people to convert into your brand or product or your call to offer? But yeah, so that's that. Me getting here mentally back in the space where I'm at today, developing my 6 core values, more victories, how to win and have the mindset to overcome. Because I had to overcome that part, because that fallout was hurtful. Because again, it's like falling out with a brother, that we built this together, and to see how much success story, to see how we are paraded, how even all the opportunities I get from people hearing my story or hearing Manny Vanity, that's been going, is amazing. Not be here to share with him. That's the second part about it.
Oh man, that's a good war story. But you know what? You learn a lot of cool stuff from it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's like, that's actually the gift of it all, Well, Lawrence, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. And you want to tell everybody where they can find you
I appreciate the opportunity again. It was a great time. Great stories of reflecting on entrepreneurship. We definitely connected well. I want to let everybody can follow me on Instagram at MV. That's letter M, letter V _ Knuckles. MV _ KNUCKLES. That's on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook at Lawrence Knuckles, LAWRENCE KNUCKLES. On LinkedIn is Lawrence Knuckles as well. Twitter, only one Nux is only one Nux, ONLYONEKNUCKS. I think I got. Oh yeah, I'm on TikTok. More victories with Knuckles. Yeah, personal branding. I gotta be everywhere. You gotta be everywhere. So yeah, that. But yeah, Manic Vanity, clothing. That's on www.manic-vanity.com. Manic_vanity on Instagram. But I guess when you see Lawrence Knuckles, you'll see all the entities and things I have there.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. And for everybody, we got a lot of interviews scheduled, and we'll be back soon. Take care.